When all the options seem right and God ordained, and both you and your spouse fully believe that you should choose differently, and your advisors and counselors are giving you opposing options, what do you do, especially when you have to make the decision relatively soon? Welcome to Kingdom Over Everything. I am your host and Chief Fire Igniter, Shae Bynes. And I have with me my dear husband of nearly 25 years, Phil Bynes. What's going on, Phil?
All is well, my love.
Well, it's good to have you here. I have you because I had asked if there was any, listeners, viewers here on the YouTube channel that had some questions and some topics that they wanted me to talk about. And I received this particular question, and it has something to do with spouses. So thanks for joining me to give me your 2 cents too. Here's the question. It says, when all the options seem right and God ordained, and both you and your spouse fully believe that you should choose differently, and your advisors and counselors are giving you opposing options, what do you do, especially when you have to make the decision relatively soon? Now, I'm operating off of a couple assumptions here, Phil, when I'm reading this. I'm assuming, based off of the wording here, that the spouses are, and the spouses may be on a different page in terms of where they think they should go, and even the advice, the godly counselors and advisors around them may also not necessarily be in agreement in terms of the approach. It sounds like we've got multiple options here that seem right across multiple people. That's how I'm reading this. So what say you on this?
Well, I think it's an opportunity, awesome opportunity to defer to the other spouse. And the reason I say that is because I think the kingdom works in seed form, and what the question says is that all the options seem like they're godly or God ordained, right? So that means that, to me, it means that God is giving you an option where you can take this path or you can take that path, and neither of them are wrong, right? And so if that's the case, then that's an easy slam dunk win if you defer, right? It doesn't matter if you're the husband or the wife. Whoever
Right.
decides to defer first, they're give this opportunity to sow a seed and earn relational equity with that spouse, right? Because even if you choose one option and it goes south, it goes wrong, then you have benefit because you relinquished, and you might look better in your spouse's eye because maybe they're thinking, okay, it would have went better if we would have went with what you said. All that really doesn't matter, right? In the grand scheme of things, I think that it's an opportunity to sow a seed. And so if you sow a seed into the kingdom, you'll reap from the kingdom.
So that's interesting. And so obviously two people can't both defer because a decision has to be made. So if you're so you saying that the person who's asking this question, basically the one who this is what's on their mind and what's on their heart, they have an opportunity to hear this and be like, huh, perhaps I will defer.
The greatest in the kingdom of God is the servant of all. Like this is your opportunity. Like when the check comes and you really want to pay it and your friend wants to pay the check, who's going to win in giving, giving of themselves? The one that's
Yeah.
most aggressive. That person has the greatest opportunity for reward. So that's if you want to be the greatest. That would be the option. I'm not saying you have to be.
Right. You're saying this is your option. This is your
Mhm.
choice. This is your choice. No, I like that. And I think an important key in this here is that belief that all the options seem right and God ordained. It's like, and we've had this experience before, Phil, where it's like there's multiple options and you really feel like God's in either of them. It's not like a specific instruction that's like, do this. Like we're looking to be obedient to a specific instruction, but it's more like we have options here. We have things to explore. I remember the specific language coming forth from one of our advisors in our life. This was many, many years ago. And she said, I sense that God's saying that you could choose A or B. And even if you choose A, B's coming anyway. If you choose B, A's coming anyway. Like it doesn't matter which one you choose, like God's in all of it. Right. And so I think that this is a one. So from your perspective, you're like, hey, this is a good opportunity to sow. And I guess I'd add to that is, and this is an opportunity to recognize the freedom that you have in exploring these decisions, like that you should feel, you can feel good about whether you're deferring, whether you're the one who deferred or the one who was on the other side of someone deferring to you, that you can actually feel really good about the fact that both of you feel like there's, like, we've got some God ordained options here. Right. And
Mhm.
I think that's a beautiful thing. It's just like just walking in that, and God's in it. And you don't know exactly where everything's going to, how everything's going to work out, or the timing things work out, or the details of how it's going to work out. But if you choose to do that thing together, you know, being unified on that is everything. And there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah. And truth be told, God is probably speaking to one or both of you guys about something that you're supposed to be doing in your relationship. And this is an opportunity to do it. And He's not making it easy for you because, like, if it was just easy that, okay, I gave you the answer and this is against what I'm doing, you would easily do that, right? It's almost like weight training with your faith, right?
Say more.
Because if he's giving you an option, it's like it's harder to make the choice because if you know that this is a good option and you believe that it's a good option already, and your spouse has an option that they believe is a good option, and you can see it being a good option as well, it's a harder choice to make than if it was like this is the clear, obvious good option, this is a clear, obvious bad option, right? That's not really, you don't have to exercise your faith muscle. You can exercise your logic muscle in that situation. But if God has been talking to you about, let's say it's the wife, and God's been speaking to the wife about submitting, and the wife knows that God's been speaking to him about speaking to her about submission, but she's like, "But I'm right in this thing," you know. It's an opportunity to exercise the thing that God's been speaking to you about. Or if it's the husband and God's been speaking to the husband about you need to honor the direction that you're getting from your wife more often. And now you're in the situations where it's like, but this is good, but my wife has something good too. It's an opportunity for that spouse to operate in the thing that God's been speaking to you about. Because I can almost guarantee that God's speaking to one of you guys about something that you're supposed to be working on, and that's why you're presenting with this fork in the road. It's an opportunity to apply the thing that He's been speaking to you about. So
Mm, that's good. I'm not adding anything else to that. That was super good. That was super good. All right. For those of you who are listening, take that, prayerfully consider it, and go as you will. And if you have any other questions, you can see the link under this video. If you ever want to submit a question of your own or a topic that you'd like us to discuss, and I did say us because I love to bring my husband on to have these conversations, then go ahead and submit that. And we, from time to time here on Kingdom of Everything, will respond to those questions and topics. All right. Have a good one.